G'day YouTube, thanks for joining us. So today we're going to have a look at the design for the van. We're going to have a look at the overall plan, layout of the van, what my goals are, and no doubt they'll be very different from most people's goals. So many systems. We've got hot water, we've got electrics, we've got the solar system, we've got the lighting system, we've got water, toilets. The list continues. We're not going to dive into detail about all the systems for this video. In future videos we'll have a look at certain things in more detail. So I'll run through quickly the goals I had when designing the van, and it explains a little bit about why I chose the van as well. For a start, this van will primarily be for just one person, myself, occasionally a second person. So you know, I don't want it too cramped. It needs to be tall enough for me to stand in. That was one of my primary goals, and that meant I ended up with this jumbo sized van. Needs an office, so I need to be able to have my computer screen, computer, mouse, have all that powered for a decent amount of time. Really keen on a decent in-van shower. I realise you're never going to get a shower that's like a home high pressure hot water system, but I'm going to be plugged into water and power reasonably often, probably 50% of the time, so when I am plugged in I want it to be decent. I need to be able to live in the van all year round, so that includes winter here in New Zealand. We have freezing temperatures down to about -5 degrees normally, not much more than that, and so I need to winterise the van to some extent, although I'm not too concerned about some water pipes being outside. We might just try and externally insulate them to some extent, which should... Now it needs to be suitable for gliding, so it's one of my main hobbies is I'm a glider pilot. So you need to be able to drag the glider around on the airfield, and that means getting the glider from one end of the airfield to the other, for example, which we have a little tow bar attachment to do that. We need to be able to drag the trailer around, and it's quite a long trailer, but there's no real drama putting a long trailer on a long van. You know, still within the legal limits for New Zealand trailers, so that's fine. The other thing is we occasionally land in paddocks, and we need someone else to jump in our vehicle and come and get us. And so having a normal size van, well, relatively normal, compared to say a large camper van, is one of the main reasons I wanted a normal size van. It needs to be able to fit through gates. This thing's not four-wheel drive, so it's not ideal for going across paddocks, but 90% of the time you don't need four-wheel drive. It'll probably be fine, and you can do some basic stuff like I've loaded up the back wheels with batteries and the water tank, so there'll be a decent amount of weight on those back wheels. So yeah, that's pretty much my main requirements for this design, so let's have a look at it. Alright, here we are in SketchUp, and we're having a look at the model I've made here. So obviously there's quite a few things missing from this, for example wall panels. I don't have an outline of what the van actually looks like, but the front is at our left here with the couch and the bed, and then at the back we've got toilet and shower. Obviously wall panels missing here, and a lot of the cupboard doors are missing. We've got solar panels on the roof, and the idea behind them is they will be tiltable. So I'm still figuring out how to do that, but there'll be enough room for 3 panels easily on the roof, and then there'll still be space for a Maxxair fan at the back there. So let's start at the bed and how that works. The design for the bed I borrowed off Barefoot Theory, who's got an excellent video online about how she made her bed, and was really inspired by that design. I love the fact you can sit on it and look out the door, which is just on the right there, and I love the way as well you can work on it. You can use it as your couch, and it's just so elegant. So the idea is you slide out the base and you end up with a bed about this size. I've made it so you can fit the bed underneath the cupboards on the right there, which means we can have not quite a, it's halfway between a king and a queen size bed, but you need room to put your blankets, tuck your duvets down the side as well. So let's put that back. So yeah, the bed base just slides in and out there on some industrial drawer slides. Office desk there. So the idea behind that is just got again more drawer slides. The tricky part here is we need to extend it more than twice the length of the cupboard. I'm not sure how that will work. My idea is we'll double up drawer slides, so there'll be 2 sets of drawer slides there, which means it can come out twice as far. Will that work? I don't know. I couldn't find any example of anyone else ever doing this ever, so I'm sure it's a really good idea. Worst case though, you can slide the bed out to meet the desk. The reason I wanted to slide the desk out so far is just so you've got leg room, because down here underneath the desk we've got the battery box, so they'll be storing the batteries, and the weight of those batteries, they're about 18 kilos each, so quite hefty. So we'll counteract that with the hot water tank, which is on the other side of the van underneath the couch. There'll also be storage under there for portable barbecue, for example, and I'm hoping I don't have to store a water tank under there as well. I'm hoping that'll fit under the van. Not quite sure about that yet. So above the desk there we've got a drawer, or it might be a lift up cubby that if we go around to the back of that, that'll be perfect for putting in the amplifier for the speakers, any other electronic equipment, charging equipment, and that'll be a nice place as well. I'll have some access there so you can easily charge your phone at night. The computer screen will fold back into this cupboard when not in use, and that way if you want to go from one end of the van to the other, you can easily just fold the laptop closed, slide the whole drawer away, push the screen in, and you can walk past easily. So it'll be really quick and easy to get the desk out. Alright, let's have a look at the back. So obviously the shower here is a bit different. The idea behind this is it will be a shower curtain and a removable stainless steel shower tray. And I've seen this on outside vans. They've used this design, and I love it because it means you don't have a shower cubicle filling up your van. So yeah, this stainless steel shower tray will be able to just fold up when not in use, something like that. And you can see there we've got a shower, a towel rail, and the idea behind that is we really need somewhere to dry a towel constantly. You know, not having one means your towel, well, you have to put it somewhere, and drying inside the van's not ideal, so I might try and have an outdoor rack as well if I'm not moving around. But this will be necessary in winter. You just can't dry things outside in winter, and you don't want your towel getting wetter and wetter as you use it. So heated towel rail should they don't use a huge amount of power, and you don't have to have it on all the time, so that'll be very useful. Up the top here in the shower we've got a shower curtain. It might just be a tube with some curtain rail hooks on it, and the shower itself, we should be able to route the water through this channel here, so there's quite a big space in there, structural support for the van, and that'll mean it'll have to go to the hot water tank, which is over under the couch there. So a little bit of a run to the shower. Let's have a look at the kitchen. See, at the end here we've got storage space for the toilet, and we can just pull that out and use it where the shower goes when we're underneath the bench there. We'll probably put some rubbish bins as well. We need somewhere to put some rubbish bins, and so having some slide out rubbish bins underneath this bench might be a good idea. It's also useful to have this area as storage space, so this whole back section can be used as a trunk or a boot, you know, if you've got things you need to store temporarily and move around, which I do quite often. It also means you can put a bike down the centre aisle if you wanted to, so that's kind of convenient. Let's just hide the half of the model here that we've already seen. Alright, so let's just look at the kitchen. So on the right here we've got the fridge, freezer, fridge on the right, freezer on the left. These things are really expensive. I think this is retailing about $3.5 grand. But man, having a big, decent sized fridge sounds very beneficial to me. Maybe I could get away with a smaller one. It'd certainly be a lot cheaper. We'll see how we go with the budget. Sink on top here, and something with a draining board would be handy, you know, if you do wash some things and you need somewhere to let them drip dry. We've also been on the left here, we've got the sink and a dishwasher and the Fisher & Paykel dish drawers. They will fit perfectly in here. They only use 8 litres of water a time, which is, you know, a decent chunk of our tank, especially if we've only got 130 litres. But if we're plugged into water and power, it's, that'll be a nice luxury to have. It's also somewhere to store all our dishes. So I can imagine just leaving all the dishes in there permanently and pulling them out and using them and putting them back in when needed. And then just turn the whole thing on every time you run it. So it's also a place, if you do wash something by hand, it's a place you can put it for it to dry. And that'll be useful for anything that's wet. You just want to dry somewhere. We've got a bit of storage space under the bench there as well. We'll need somewhere to put our pots and pans, so probably down on the floor there. And kitchen bench, that is a decent size. So we've got a fold out panel here, so when we don't need so much bench space, we can fold that down, or if we're using the couch more, we can hide that away. But when it's up, we've got almost 2.5 meters. Yep, 2.5 meters of storage space there, which is awesome. That's a decent cooking area. And you see there's no gas cooker here. I'm planning on putting an induction cooktop in. That'll probably go down the end here, which is closest to the fan and the back doors. So above the kitchen bench, we've got a line of cupboards, and we might try and put a microwave in here. I like the idea of a microwave because whenever I cook, I tend to cook a bigger meal and then freeze or put half of it in the fridge and then reheat it the next night. Now, a microwave is probably the most efficient way to reheat food, so that would fit what I do very well. So I'm quite keen to get a microwave up there, and then the rest of that would be storage space. We'll have some lighting, strip lighting underneath the cupboards there, which will light up the kitchen bench really well. So there we go, there's the overview of the van. Forgot to mention the windows. We've got 3 windows here. One on the sliding door, one above the couch, and one out the kitchen bench. And they're all the same height, just to make things nice and streamlined and look nice. So yeah, that's the plan. If anyone's got any suggestions or ideas things that would be improved. Any thoughts on having the with the shower curtain? Yeah, be great to hear your thoughts.